All right, day 24, 1 week left. Let's see how we do with this. There's day 23, not too bad. A couple things we can work on here. Idaho is definitely it's a little seems a little too wide. I think I just made Utah and Nevada a little too wide there. It's okay. Texas, what I worked on just a couple minutes ago. I tried to figure out where this bottom point kind of is and how tall the state is. Hopefully that'll pay off for us here. And then a couple of miscellaneous things, I guess. Indiana's probably a little taller than what I gave it. And then North Carolina, we're going to try to get that right. So a lot to work on here. Let's see if we can do it. Day 24, here we go. So I'm working on just like a little, thing or two every day, but it doesn't always stick, and that's neither here nor there, I guess. But I'm kind of hoping that one of these days I put it all together. But for me, that's like playing a good round of golf, which I did today. So who knows? If I can play a reasonable round of golf, maybe I can draw a good map of the U.S. So not a fantastic start. This Oregon border is a little bit too. It was a little too steep here at the side of Washington here, but that's okay. All right, halfway, and then like a fifth of what's left. So it's like that there. That's California. California takes up about 60% of the border of, or rather, about 60% of the southern border of Oregon is taken up by California. I may have made that a little too much, but that's okay. We always live. The problem is I don't actually know how to make up for it if I make that particular mistake. So it comes out a little bit and then drops almost straight down here. Alright, that board's a little bit messy, but oh well. Okay, Montana's a wider state than I think it is. I think it doesn't look right when it's like twice as wide as it is long, but it actually is. So that's pretty good there. Do a little Colorado there. Try to get it kind of close. Alright, and I guess that means I'm committed to this Four Corners area here, which is fine. Okay, there we go. Usually I go like California first there or something, but okay, let's see. Divide this into thirds or so, and then try to draw a square. That was actually pretty close. Maybe a little more. And let's see if I can get the 45-degree angle about right here. Not bad. A little steep. I gotta figure out where the southern border of California kind of ends up there, because that might be a cause of some of my problems. Because turns out actually coastlines are very hard to draw. So there we go. Arizona, not half bad. Let's see here. I think it goes a little further than that. And honestly, like, if you haven't noticed yet, like my coastlines, a lot of them I just kind of I draw a little squiggly line and kind of hope for the best. All right, California's having a fat day today. Okay, let's see. 1/2, 1/4, 1/8. Halfway, a little more than halfway. That's about where we'll end up there. Alright, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this one here, honestly. Can't tell at this point. I'm always happy with Texas, like, at this point here, basically, but there's a lot that I can screw up, so. Alright, it's about 2 panhandles, and if I get to the third one, then I've gone too far, so like a little less than 3 panhandles across, and then it kind of slants down a little bit, and then it actually gets past 3 panhandles, so. It's a little bit of a straight border here. Okay, so then I'm try to remember this now. Okay, 1/2, 3/4. All right, so that's where Kansas gets to. That's where Nebraska's going to get to, and then that is where North and South Dakota meet. Splitting everything, splitting the difference everywhere. Okay, let's see. Then about halfway up Colorado, Kansas goes straight, and then it kind of comes in at like about a 60-degree angle or so. That's what I'm calling it. I measured it. That's close-ish. Alright, and then Nebraska, we're going to come across almost 2/3 of the way or so. That's going to drop down and kind of do this here. Okay, so now Texas. It actually, the height of this, so the southern point is like, it coincides with basically the middle of the body of Oklahoma, and the height of Texas is about Oklahoma, Kansas, and like half of Nebraska, basically. So it's quite a bit. So it's like that. Like there, and then I'm gonna try there. See if that works. All right. It looks huge, honestly. But we're gonna trust our instincts on this one here, actually, because that could be okay. Let's see. Okay, it's a little too far down, but not terrible overall. I've done worse. I've done a lot worse, honestly. Alright, Arkansas there. Missouri right about there. Then we're going to do Iowa kind of up a little bit here, and then there. This corridor is going to be a little bit wide, honestly, but I have done a lot worse on this, so I still can do worse. Funnily enough, North Dakota actually looks pretty close to right. Everything else is a bit of a mess here. Alright, so we're going to save that for later here. Figure out the width of Iowa here. That's probably about right. I'm probably gonna get all the Midwest states are probably going to be a little bit squished, honestly. Okay. Here's the deal. I cannot draw Iowa to save my life. I practiced it like 4 times at least right before I started this, and we're just gonna see if I can get close. It kind of does that a little bit, and then it kind of juts out. And then it kind of goes up. That might be the best Iowa I've ever done. Like, that eastern border is insanely hard for me to draw, and I don't know why. It shouldn't be that hard. It is a state I have lived in, which doesn't really mean anything, strictly speaking, but you know, it's one of those, like, I expect to be able to do better on this. That's a little too wide for Missouri, I think. But we'll kind of do that. That's not too wide. We're gonna see. We are going to find out. Okay. It's not one of my worst Minnesotas. I'll take credit for that one. Let's see here. Then, like, Wisconsin kind of does something funny there, kind of before it gets to the UP. That one, this is gonna be one of my better Wisconsins too, actually, which is good. Need more non-screw ups. We have more states that I can consider good than absolutely ugly. Okay, it kind of does that, and then there's like a little squiggly part, and then kind of gives away to the Upper Peninsula here. The Upper Peninsula has the peninsula there, and then it kind of dips in a little bit. Okay, Indiana's border is like extends just a little bit past where Illinois' border stops being straight. The thing is, like, saying a little bit doesn't actually help a whole lot, but it kind of does actually in a way. 'Cause it's like, all right, well, okay, I might actually be kind of happy with how this turned out here. So this is actually somewhat promising. Let's see if I can keep this going here. Okay, Mississippi kind of leans in a little bit. That's ugly, but so is Mississippi. So to all the people in Mississippi I just offended, I'm a little sorry. Okay, I think that's the North Carolina border. It's kind of the idea. When I was practicing it, I definitely drew it a lot bigger, so it's very possible that I screwed that up a little bit. And there's Georgia. Okay, so we're gonna continue with that in a second here. First, Kentucky. Let's see if we can get that done here. Alright, I did that a little bit poorly, but... It's actually not bad for Kentucky. It's not an easy state to draw, I gotta say. Okay, let's see if I can figure out West Virginia here, because I don't always get it quite right. And I don't know if I'm gonna get it right this time either, honestly. Okay, so like that, right? And then like that. I think it's like that actually. It's a little more of a little hump in Virginia than I had been doing before, so I'm gonna go with that. I think that's actually close. I think I'm gonna be happy with that one. Okay, there we go there. Northern Virginia kind of drops down. Okay, let's try to get North Carolina in here. Okay, so it's like a straight thing there, and then it goes across for a little bit. Then a little more straight, and then it drops straight down like that, but below that part. And then a little more straight, and then like a diagonal part, like almost a 45-degree angle. We'll call it that. God, this is gonna actually be huge. Here we go. And then kind of like that. Okay. North Carolina is actually going to look pretty good here if I can get this right. Problem is Virginia is going to look like a mound again, so we might have to sacrificial lamb Virginia on this one, but we'll see. No, we're definitely going to have to sacrificial lamb Virginia on this. Like, it's not even close. Yeah, North Carolina is going to be pretty good. But Virginia is absolutely going to be a sacrificial lamb on this one. And probably Maryland for that matter. Okay, let's figure out why this happened. Tennessee is a little too short, I think. Tennessee being too short means that, well, so these states here are a little too narrow, maybe. I think Indiana got a little too narrow. Ohio got a little too narrow. West Virginia is actually really good. I think the bottom line is actually Tennessee ended up a little too thick. So I think the note to myself on this next one here is that, yeah, like if I make Tennessee a little shorter, I think because Kentucky's a little too squished up too. So if I make Tennessee a little thinner here, I think I get North Carolina ends up a little smaller north to south, and therefore also a little more crunched in. So we're gonna make a note of that. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with that in the future because South Carolina is also gonna end up being huge on this map here. It's gonna be like Georgia's gonna be a sacrificial lamb as well on this, honestly. Yeah, Georgia's going to end up being a little too wide. Carolina's going to be huge. They are huge. I mean, they're not really huge. They're like medium-sized states. I know North Carolina is like right around the middle as far as like actual size goes. So, okay, that's all right. Mistakes happen. We're gonna do better with it tomorrow. Hopefully. Or Outer Banks. There we go. The funny thing about this is actually Pennsylvania is going to end up pretty close to the right width. I'm going to kind of just dick around with Maryland here, hopefully. Get something kind of close. Yeah, Virginia's god awful on this one. Actually, Western Virginia is not bad. Eastern Virginia is a fucking rat's nest. Yeah, we're gonna figure out where this border, where the Tennessee like north and south borders actually go, and then hopefully we get it right next time because I'm pretty decent at drawing, getting Missouri right at this point, which is kind of a wonder because, gosh knows, it's pretty hard to draw. So. Okay, Jersey there. Pennsylvania, not half bad. Okay, New York is local. New York's gonna have a fat day too, as it were. And Maine looks a little big too, honestly. All right, let's get Michigan up in here. Get it done for the night here. Oh god, I'm not gonna save that. That's fine. And it's a little more convex up there. It's okay. Kodiak there. All right. Big Island, Hawaii. Then, let's see here. Molokai. I think that's Lanai, maybe? Actually, I think Molokai is that rectangular one up there. Anyway, here's Oahu. No, it's Maui is the kidney bean shaped one. Oahu. Go. All right, let's take a look. The good. Midwest there. Midwest not bad there. The bad. Virginia, that's pretty much it. Actually, no, we're going to say that Virginia is the ugly. The bad, we'll say, the Texas southern tip's a little too far down. Actually, Florida, we'll count Florida as pretty good on that one. North Carolina, pretty good. Yeah, the bad, Tennessee's a little too tall, probably. Kentucky's probably a little too short as a result. Georgia ended up being too wide as a result, interestingly enough, because it forced me to make North Carolina really wide, or actually really bigger than it is, rather. But overall, still a lot of good things here. I think we're still kind of figuring out this exact interaction here. What I'm gonna do before the next one is actually take a bit of a deeper dive into how this border interacts here, and also kind of the relative distances. I do a lot of measuring, like, okay, so like for example, Colorado is like about, Wyoming is about 5 to 4 on rectangle width to height, and then Colorado is like 4 to 3 or something like that. So it's like figure out which one's bigger and stuff like that, and which one kind of looks more like squarish. And then the other thing I'll try to do is try to measure kind of relative distances, kind of to figure out where things coincide. Like today, I found out that the southern tip of Texas kind of coincides with the middle of the body of Oklahoma, which is going to be a good cue moving forward, actually, as long as I can get the height about right, which will be kind of tougher because I don't really have a great reference for that. So, as always, still a work in progress. So we're gonna, we got about a week left. Let's see where we can go. Thanks for watching. See you next time.